A vicious and terrifying dog attack, sending a woman to the hospital in critical condition.
She just got out and is speaking to news specialist Dan Rascone about what went horribly wrong. And Dan, this is not just some strange dog.
That's exactly right. 56-year-old Holly Murphy says this was her friend's dog. She's known this dog for years. In fact, since the day the dog was born. So this came as a huge surprise, one that she thought was going to end her life. A heartbreaking and painful hospital scene.
And it hurt really bad.
56-year-old Holly Murphy in critical condition after being attacked by a friend's pit bull.
And then listening to my teeth and my bones crushed in my face.
This is Holly today, 2 weeks later.
My jaw was broken 16 places. You're a good girl. Let's go for a walk. Come on.
Out of the hospital and at a park in...
Look at her. This is after the attack. She is still a nutter. No sympathy for these people.
Out of the hospital and at a park in Midvale, walking her dog Kindred. But something has dramatically...
Look at her. You think she can control that dog? Look at how weak she looks. Skinny, frail, flabby. That woman has absolutely no strength in her body at all. That dog is in control. And you see how the dog is walking in front. Something trainers tell you to not allow the dog to do. Because it will feel like it's the leader of the pack. It'll increase the chances that it'll attack you. But you got a bunch of ignorant people who own these things.
Her dog Kindred, but something has dramatically changed because of the attack.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of going outside. I'm terrified of going to the store. I'm terrified of seeing people.
It was...
Huh? Never once did she say she's terrified of dogs. She's just terrified of going to the store. What? This is a bad addiction. Like, this is a serious dog addict right here. There's no other way to chalk this up. This is an addiction. Just as powerful, if not more powerful, than drug addictions.
I'm terrified of going outside. I'm terrified of going to the store. I'm terrified.
You terrified of dogs, lady? See, she don't want to say I'm terrified of dogs because she's still a dog owner herself. And that wouldn't make sense. Look at the loyalty. Listen to the loyalty to dogs that she shows here. She won't even say that she's afraid of other dogs. I'm just afraid to go outside. All right, lady.
Outside, I'm terrified of going to the store. I'm terrified of seeing people.
It was March 24th.
Terrified of seeing people? We ain't attack you. Why didn't you say you terrified of seeing dogs? Oh, I'm not going to say something like that. Even after being mutilated, these people are just worthless. That's just what it is. These are worthless people. The way she responds to this, the way others, when they respond to attacks like this, they make things worse. They make the world more dangerous. I ain't trying to hear nothing about no sympathy and feeling sorry for her. When you sitting up there talking like an idiot, you're supposed to have just learned a lesson. But instead, you want to continue to push the behavior that got your face mauled.
Of going outside, I'm terrified of going to the store. I'm terrified of seeing people.
It was March 24th. Holly was at a friend's home, feeding the dog a donut when suddenly it lunged at her face.
And I couldn't understand because this was my friend.
She's talking about the dog. She said the dog was her friend. She's sitting up there feeding the dog a donut. This was my friend. You heard him say that she known this dog its entire life.
At her face.
And I couldn't understand because this was my friend. I've known him for so long, I don't know what happened.
Holly is a dog lover.
Listen to that. How ignorant. I don't know what happened. These things were bred to kill. You think that might have something to do with it? It's a dog. You think that might have something to do with it? Those two factors. Just the fact that it's a dog opens the door for your face to get mauled. And the fact that it was a bully breed opened the door even wider. But you don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It was my friend. You idiot. Each and every one of you idiots. Young people, don't be like this lady. Don't end up like her. You want your face to go through this?
For so long, I don't know what happened.
Holly is a dog lover herself and doesn't want to see the dog put down.
I don't want this dog to ever do this to another person. No, I do not want to press charges. I do not want the dog to die.
Well, if you don't press charges and the dog is not euthanized, how can you convince us that you don't want this to happen to another person? How does that make sense? I don't want this to happen to anyone else, but don't euthanize it. Is that not an idiot talking? Screw your emotions. Oh, my emotions, I love it. Shut up. This is degeneracy. Just filthy, subhuman degeneracy. This mentality here.
I want to press charges. I do not want the...
See, now she looking for compliments and pats on the back from dog culture. That's what they're supposed to do. Don't press charges. It's not the dog's fault.
to another person. No, I do not want to press charges. I do not want the dog to die.
Her message to dog owners and parents of young kids: train your dog and never let your kids run up to a strange dog.
What? That? Train your dog? Don't talk to us about training, lady. You knew that dog its entire life. You don't get to now say, oh, it just wasn't trained. It was more than trained. It knew you its entire worthless life. That's a step beyond training. Training is meant so that the dog doesn't attack strangers. That advice don't even apply to this case. It's not a case where you were walking down the sidewalk and some dog out of nowhere that you didn't know attacked you. You knew this dog its whole life. Don't talk about training. You mentioned training because you don't want to face the fact that these things, dogs, are nothing like us. You don't want to face the fact that these things are heartless, soulless. They don't care that they've known you their entire life. You don't want to face that reality. Say you want to take the blame off the dog. Oh, it's not the dog's fault. It wasn't trained. Shut up, lady.
If this happened to a kid, I don't know. I don't know what would...
Shut up with your fake concern about kids too. You sat up there and said you don't want the dog euthanized and you're not pressing charges. So don't act like you're concerned about the welfare and safety of children either. Actions speak louder than words, lady. You don't care about your life or anyone else's, just like I've been saying for years. This is a population of sociopaths, psychopaths. They don't care about their own life or anybody else's. That's what you're talking like, lady.
Dog.
If this happened to a kid, I don't know. I don't know what would happen.
This was a
Listen
really,
to how ignorant she sounds. As if there's not children being attacked every day by dogs. She talking like this is some type of rare thing for dogs to do that to children. Ignorant. Ignorant people shouldn't be allowed to own lethal weapons, let alone so-called animals, lethal animals. Ugh, the degeneracy it just disgusts me, man.
What happened?
this was a really, really close call.
Holly's daughter feels differently about what should happen.
So after the attack, she sits up there and kisses the dog, her dog. You can only imagine what goes on inside this lady's home. I got a good idea what goes on inside of this lady's home. That loyalty that she's showing, that don't come out of nowhere.
Close call.
Holly's daughter feels differently about what should happen.
I think this dog needs to be put down. To be honest, I'm surprised he's not on.
Yeah, all of them. All of them need to be put down. What happened to this lady's teeth? Your teeth ain't falling out at this young age. A dog crush your teeth too?
This dog needs to be put down. To be honest, I'm surprised he's not already. He has attacked 2 people prior to my mom.
Attacked 2 people prior to attacking her. And this lady says, I don't want the dog to be put down. Now, is this lady or is she not the worst neighbor to have? It's the worst neighbor you could ask for. A frail, skinny, basically a skeleton with no muscle, no strength, delusional as all get up, does not operate based on reality, has no sense of danger whatsoever. Pathetic. Ain't nothing admirable about dog culture, dog lovers. Y'all's behavior is despicable. I mean, y'all's behavior is infuriating. It's so ignorant and backwards.
Investigators tell me they don't know of any other reports of this dog attacking other people. Right now, they say they're still investigating the dog right now in court.
Who cares? She was feeding the dog a donut. After the donut was gone, she said to the dog, it's gone. It's all gone. And then it clamped down on her face. There's nothing else that we need to know. And the crazy part is how they always try to point out individual dogs. No, it's not just this dog need to be put down. They all need to be put down. These non-solutions, get out of here.
Quarantine with the Salt Lake County Animal Services, and they say right now they're still investigating to determine whether or not that dog will be put down. In the meantime,
How about that? the dog might live. That's no surprise to us. But that's the protocol. That seemed like the standard protocol. Dog attacks someone. The first thing to do is try to adopt it out somewhere else. Send it to another state. Try to rehabilitate it, which is impossible. Pathetic. The entire world is delusional. If you're not a dog culture critic, you're delusional. You're dangerous. You are a danger to the general public. It's another story surfaced 6 days ago. Listen to what this lady says.
Who was attacked by a dog while walking to work last week is gearing up for a third surgery as doctors try to save her leg. Fox 12's Spencer Schott spoke to her today and joins us now live. Spencer, what's the latest on her condition tonight?
Well, Pete, she is hopeful that this latest surgery will help save her leg, but mostly she is just frustrated with how this whole situation panned out. Giovanni Johnson was just going through her daily routine, parking here at the Taco Bell on the corner of 7th and Broadway, and then walking across the street to her job at FedEx office, and that's when she said she was attacked.
All of a sudden, to my right, this dog charges after me.
Giovanni Johnson says she walked by a homeless camp on her way to work last Thursday when a dog bit her leg unprovoked and would not let go.
But this whole time, this dog is chomping on my leg, and no one is coming to help me. And I'm just so devastated. I'm just trying, and no one has this time has called 911. No one has done anything.
Johnson had to call 911 herself, and while she waited for the paramedic...
That's kind of crazy. People just stood around and watched her being mauled, and she had to call 911 herself.
To arrive, one thing was going through her head.
I don't want to lose my foot, and the whole time he's chomping down, I feel my foot going numb and numb and numb.
She was taken to Legacy Emmanuel Hospital, and
look,
so far...
Hey, and to be honest, this is one of the less gruesome attacks. But you heard the previous attack. She said she could hear her teeth being crushed. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not willing to go through nothing like that. But our laws, society in general, they expect all of us to accept these types of attacks as the norm, as just a part of life. No. That's why your dog run up on me, I'm letting loose on it. I'm not going to be sitting there expecting people to come help me. I'm going to bleed that dog. I'm letting loose before it even get up to me. And if it were to clamp down on my leg or something, I'm going to continue to bleed it. I'm not the one who's crazy. Y'all crazy. If you're not a dog culture critic, you're kind of out of your mind. Because you're not living life based on reality. You walking around here as if there are no threats around here, and there are. And y'all find out the hard way. It's too late now, lady. You're probably about to lose your foot.
So far, she's had 2 major surgeries in the last week and will undergo another surgery on Friday.
I guess they're going to remove some tissue and muscle from the back of her leg and bring it to the front.
Yeah, I ain't going through that. They want you to accept this. Just be a tree. Look up at the sky. A dog comes approach you. Don't make eye contact. Curl up in a ball. Keep your hands crossed or folded. No, I'm letting loose. No, what y'all talking about?
Johnson's daughter, LaShonda, rushed down to Portland from Seattle when she heard her mom was attacked. And after she made sure her mom was where she needed to be, she wanted to know where the dog was.
I'm told the dog is in custody. I'm told there's a 10-day holding period for the dog to check for rabies or something like that. It sounds like they're going to euthanize the dog. I really hope and pray the dog gets euthanized. It's really surreal.
And Johnson hopes the dog owners are held accountable.
I'm ashamed of our city. I'm ashamed of our government. I would like to
see now she talking like us. You hear that? I'm ashamed of our city, ashamed of our government. Now you talking like us. Now you talking like you got some sense. This is why I laugh at people who come over here and try to talk about us as if we're a group of lunatics. Cases like this prove we're spot on. We know what we're talking about. We're not waiting until something like this happens to us to talk like this, to point out the obvious, to point out the facts. Go ahead, Crusader. This lady, an unknowing Crusader, go ahead and speak for us.
Accountable.
I'm ashamed of our city. I'm ashamed of our government. I would like to see that if you have a vicious dog, they need to have a muzzle on it, or you shouldn't have a dog. To me, they're bad.
Oh, no. See? All dogs should be muzzled, huh? See? Statements like that are looked at as extreme by most people. But she don't think it's extreme. Not now. But see, you had to go through this mauling before you start talking like you got some sense. We're not doing that.
If you have a vicious dog, they need to have a muzzle on it, or you shouldn't have a dog. To me, they're bad pet owners.
Listen to her. To me, they're bad pet owners. You see, she dare not speak against God. That's what's wrong with these people. They view dogs as God. You see, just like you dare not criticize God. Because I can't think of any other entity that people refuse to be critical of. So they always say, oh, it's the owners. No, lady.
On it, or you shouldn't have a dog. To me, they're bad pet owners. You know, dogs shouldn't be living in cars or on the streets. The dogs are traumatized.
Listen to that. She's up here making a defense for the dog that attacked her. Saying, oh, the dog is traumatized because it's living inside of a car. Real smart, lady. What'd I tell you? If you're not a dog culture critic, you're going to sound like a lunatic. Doesn't she sound like a lunatic right now? Oh, it's not the dog's fault. It's traumatized. You idiot. Can't even defend you now, lady. Y'all half-stepping. No, I'm not defending that.
On the streets, the dogs are traumatized. Why do you have a pet if you're on the streets?
That's the only decent statement you made just then. If you're a bum, if you're homeless, what are you doing with a dog? See, these nutters use the dogs to acquire funds. There's a higher chance that people give them money if they have a dog. That's why they keep these dogs. Now, I wouldn't know. I ain't never begged for money and never would be a beggar. This is pathetic, man.
Now, PPB says there's no arrests have been made in this case just yet.
Way to look out for the community. I am so tired of people and their fake personalities, man. I'm sick of it. People just trying to be politically correct and say the things that the masses want to hear. Forget about that. And it happens on all levels of society, like in this case. How many of y'all listen to this? He posted this 19 hours ago about the infant that was unalived Listen to what this cop says.
I can confirm that as of right now, there will be no criminal charges brought forth in this situation. It's a terribly sad and tragic situation that happened this morning. A female infant under the age of 12 months old was unfortunately attacked by one of the family pets behind the residence here. There's really not a lot of words I can say to convey how I feel and how the officers who arrived, family, everyone involved in this process is literally grieving as if this child belonged to us.
I don't believe that. Y'all not grieving as if that child belongs to you at all. I don't know what's going through y'all's head. Or else you would at least say, hey, these things need to be banned. What's the big deal? Why not at least say that? Hey, I think bull breeds should be banned. These are not pets. How many fatalities do y'all have to deal with before you at least say that? I don't even accept that. You're not grieving nothing. You're inhumane yourself. If you're not against dogs in society, by default, you're inhumane. Because look at this. You don't even respond to these cases properly. When it comes to dog attacks, this is when police departments look at their worst. This is a very bad look. He looks confused. His whole department, all cops, they sound confused and helpless because they're dealing with their God, their deity.
Process is literally grieving as if this child belonged to us because most of us are parents and can't imagine just how tragic this scene is.
Oh, shut up. Okay, well, then I expect to see you, all those other cops, and everybody involved in this case to put together a petition of some sort to ban these things, to do something. Let's see some action on y'all's part if y'all grieving so much. Y'all ain't grieving nothing. Whatever amount of grief you feel, it's natural. Lord, I can't finish this. I don't even want to hear no more of this nonsense, this BS. Trying to pretend like they're so affected. And they always do. Why should I believe? All across the country for decades, cops, they always respond like this. Oh, we're so affected. Everybody involved. Oh, we're so affected. Yet society doesn't change. Y'all continue to push dogs like harmless angels sent from heaven. At a certain point, you don't buy this type of talk. Oh, we're grieving. We're so distraught. Get out of here. Ugh.
And again, this is never victim blaming, but this is one of those moments where we want to continue to educate people in ensuring when you have family pets to make sure you're doing everything possible.
Oh, listen to him. About to sound crazy. Well, you shouldn't even have went there. You should not have went there, but let's listen. He about to make a big mistake. You can see it on his face. You about to talk about something you shouldn't be talking about. See how he's trying to talk about personal responsibility now. Listen.
Family pets to make sure you're doing everything possible to safely secure your pets.
Huh?
From your young children.
So, do everything possible to protect your children from the dogs? Is that what you're trying to get out? Well, if that's what you're trying to say, you know the best way to do that? To not have the dogs at all. If the dog is in the home, then this can happen. There ain't no type of safety measure you can use. You look online, you'll see dogs breaking out of kennels, cages, busting through doors, chewing through doors. You open the door, they'll run through the door. There's nothing you can do. But once again, because these are dogs, he refuses to suggest to people to not own them. Why don't you at least have it in you to tell parents to not own them? You can't even say to the general public, hey, if you got infants in the home, you shouldn't have these kinds of dogs. You don't even have it in you to say that they shouldn't own bully breeds if they have infants in the home. That's pathetic. That's spineless. Get out of here. You're not a man. You're not a human. Because I don't care if you're male or female. You're pathetic for not at least saying that much. You got infants in the home. You should not have large dogs in there. You shouldn't have small dogs in there because small dogs can unalive infants. If you can't even say that, you're pathetic.
Sure, you're doing everything possible to safely secure your pets from your young children and making sure they're safe to be around your children. Again, frankly,
how you supposed to do that? Huh? Make sure the dog is safe to be around the children. How do you do that, huh? You will never be in control of that dog's brain. That's the end of story, end of discussion. Ain't nothing you can do. You sounding crazy.
Animal control will be handling the situation. I can only say so much right now, but our thoughts and prayers go to the family of this young female infant.
Shut up. This is embarrassing for society. We got men in society, but they're a bunch of spineless cowards. We got women in society, but they're a bunch of dog hags, apologists, people trying to be politically correct, looking for approval from dog culture. You looking for likes and pats on the back. Embarrassing. Shout out to all of you able to join me for this live stream. And I hope you can join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.